Hi everybody, Linda Carroll here from my studio, and we are going to do some collage today. Remember, oh gosh, I think it's probably been about 2 years ago, we did the collage totems, and I was really missing those, and for some reason, some of the images that I have been looking for in magazines and harvesting from magazines and books seem to work in totems. So I'm going to kind of do a spooky totem collage today. It was inspired by Harvest Home, which is the theme of the subscription box for September, and I was really excited when I did the first collage. So if you want to collage along with me, you can go to my website, www.collagemagic.com, and if you're not already a member, join. It's free. And there is, for your access, if you're a member, the collage resource library. And in that library, there are right now, I think, over 20 downloadable digi collage sheets that you can work with. And I put the two collage sheets that I'm going to be working with today in the resource library last week. So there are 300 DPI. You can download them and fussy cut them and work along with me, or you can watch the video and maybe do the collage at another time. So I'm going to switch the camera around and let's get started. Okay, this is the collage that I made to begin with, and if you go to the website, collagemagic.com, you will find these two sheets in the resource library. So all the images that I used, except for the background, are on these two sheets. And these are all public domain images. So what you need to do is go in, download the sheets, and fussy cut all of these images, which I'm going to do now, which will take me a little bit of a time, but for you, it'll only be a few seconds. But first, I want to pick a background for this particular collage. Now, I did an unboxing of the collage subscription box the other day, and these are the backgrounds that are included in that box. And I said I was going to choose one for this particular collage. I have mostly autumn scenes since it is autumn time, and these are kind of too abstract for what I'm doing. This is really pretty, and I think that the moon would show up okay on here. Yes, it would. So this is an option that I have to work with. And I want some sky. Now, if I trim off the top of this, I could put the moon up here in this side. So I might look at that one once I get everything cut out. I said those are too abstract. This one, I think I would have to do a lot of cutting. I'd have to cut around this tree here, and the books could sit right down here at the bottom, but I'd need to find another sky so that the moon could shine down. This one would work really well with the yellow shoe, but again, I'd have to change out this background here, cut along these mountains and put another background back here. That's an option that I really didn't realize I had. Oh, look at this. Ooh. I really like this. And I could go in where it's getting kind of foggy back in here, this area, and trim that out and put another sky up there. So I have that as an option. This is really pretty. The colors are really pretty, but I would have to tuck that down into something else, but it is an option, as is this. I'd need more of a sky up there, so I'd have to put a different sky in. I don't think this would work. And I don't think this would work. I think this is too dark. And this would actually work too. So I have a lot of options to work with here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fussy cut all of my images out, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I have all of my pieces fussy cut, and I settled on using this photograph, and this is from a book about national parks. So, but unfortunately it's not as wide as the original background that I used, which is this one. But I think we're going to see a big difference with this background at the bottom. It changes the mood of the entire collage, which I think is really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this part of the background down, and I love the idea of using another layer back here. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. Now I want to make sure that I cover the entire background with the glue stick so that I don't have any wrinkles or anything. So I'm working back and forth here, trying to make sure that everything is covered. And I'm going to go ahead and change my glue page so I don't end up with glue on the front of my photograph or magazine page, as it may be. It feels really good to be back on my table. I've been working so hard on my subscription boxes. I've not been taking care of myself, which is one thing that I hope you are doing, and doing my collage work daily. It makes such a big difference in the way I feel and my perspective on everything, and you know, being able to sit down at my table for the last 2 days and be back to my collage work has really, you know, made a difference in how I feel and what, you know, how I feel about the world, and more company coming and so on and so forth. But, you know, this collage is an excellent way to take care of yourself, make you feel more grounded in the moment, and all together taking your wellness, your own personal wellness, into account. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. Now it's going to be the same height as the first collage that I did, but it's not going to be the same width. So I may need to make some adjustments in my, and I'm going to keep that strip just for texture, maybe in a border that I'm going to be making in the future. Okay, you can see the difference in width here. It's a good inch difference. Okay, but one thing I love about this particular sky is it picks up so much of the colors in the collage pieces. Now, I used this stack of books before. I used it in my collage with the flamingo, another surreal totem that I did. And I'm not going to put it all the way down here at the bottom. I'm going to have it nestled up here a little bit higher than the base of the page. Okay, the next piece I'm going to work with is these mushrooms, and I am going to take some what do I want here? I think I want my tea dye. Let's see if this is dark enough. Just to, yeah, go around the edges and any little white pieces that might be left. Now I can tint with this Distress Oxide. So that white won't show up quite as glaringly. Let's see here. And this one goes on this side. And I think I'm gonna nestle it in right here. Okay, and then we have the one that goes on the other side. And remember, we're working with a totem. And the totems have a lot of symbolism on their own. You have balance is the, I think, primary message of the totem. Groundedness also would be, to me, a totem message. Okay, and I want this pretty symmetrical here at the beginning. All right. Using this dark background, I think, makes everything more somber. A little bit spookier as well. Okay, we're going to work with this shoe. And again, I'm just going to hit these edges just lightly with the dye or the ink. Okay, now I think I'm going to have to change the position of the shoe. Unfortunately, now I can put this mushroom totally behind here, which I might have to do in order to balance this shoe here on the edge of the book. Okay. Now, I have these women. When I found them, they're part of a large harvest painting. Don't remember the artist, but it looked to me like they were running and they were afraid of something, which definitely reminded me of the book Harvest Home. So I felt like I had to include them in this collage, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to fit them in this collage because it's so much more narrow. This one works. Let's see what we can do with this one. There's just this look of concern on everybody's faces. Even this little child here has its hand on its head, her head. And they obviously look like they're running from something. They've been out in the fields because they do have some harvest. It looks like wheat in their hands. They've been cutting sheaves of wheat. And again, you look at the symbolism of wheat as, Mother Earth, Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, Persephone's mother, and okay, I think this might work here. What? No, I don't like that at all. Sorry. I was going to say, what if we put the shoe up on the mushrooms, but I don't know. it leaves you a little bit of that stone wall back there that I do like. And actually, the perspective of the shoe works better if it's sitting on the mushroom. Okay, let's try that. And we have our crow, which I love. And that lifts him up a little bit more too, which is good. It doesn't get too confusing down there at the bottom. I might even be able to tuck his back foot down on the back of the shoe. So he's really sitting there, and I have to pitch him back a little bit because I want to make sure I have room for my kingfisher and my watch. There's my watch. Okay, now I have to decide if I want to put these skulls down in the shoe, which is what I did before, or if I want to put them on the book. Since I left that space there, that overlapping makes a little bit more sense. So if I have two skulls down here, I don't know, it's really getting really busy there. I don't think I like that. I definitely like this one skull here. And I did, while I was fussy cutting, put this man's head on top of the kingfisher. He looks like he's looking at whatever it is these women are running from, which is off the page over here somewhere. And I do have enough space here for the watch, which is good. And you know, I had this bee scap on top of his head in the original collage, but now I'm wondering how it would look if I had a skull sitting on his head. I think I might like that better. And then I have a little mousey sitting on top of the skull. And I like the colors there. They're similar, but yet contrasty enough that the little mouse still shows up. Okay. And I have this yellow moon that I think is going up here. And as I looked at this collage, I realized I pasted the bat in upside down. So he must have been doing acrobatics in the sky. So we're gonna paste this one in right side up, and he should be like right about there. So let's go ahead and start gluing down these images. So, you know, this is an example of how you can use images from the subscription box, is working with collage either by itself or in a journal, either an art journal or a junk journal. Okay, and now I have this little bat, which I'm going to put a little bit of ink on his edges. And, you know, if you've received your, which you should have by now, your subscription box, I'd like to know how you feel about it, what you think. I'm always looking for input, and I'd like to know if there's something that you would like to see changed, if there are things that you feel you wouldn't use in the box. Would you like to see more ephemera and less book pages and magazine pages? How do you feel about that? You know, I've not ever done this before. I know what I like, and I know that, you know, I do collage, and I make journals, and I make books, and I use all of those things that are in the subscription box. But let me know how you feel. Because, you know, nothing's written in stone, that's for sure. And I'm sure as I proceed through this journey, I'm going to be tweaking, and I'm sure as I proceed in this journey, I'm going to be tweaking and making changes to items and, you know, exactly what I'm using in the subscription box, listening to your ideas and tweaking things on my own. But I'd like your input as well. So let me know in the comments below what you're thinking. I know one thing I'm considering is including more. You know, I don't really like the word kit, but I can't think of another word to use. But I'm thinking of including, more of a kit idea in the box, and then have special videos for people who bought the box to, you know, put these kits together. I think that would really help beginners a lot. I have some pretty good ideas for the November box, which is going to be Victorian winter. And I've been gathering some really neat things for that box, including some more textiles that I've just fallen in love with. Okay, and our little mousey, the twist in his tail. So give me some ideas. You know, when you're doing a collage like this, think about your edges. Think about, you know, how you're overlapping the edges in your collage. And I had the same little mousie in my flamingo Surreal Totem collage. Okay, I think that worked out. All right, I have these pieces glued on here. Go ahead and glue the books down. And again, make sure you have the entire piece covered with glue. You might think it's a little bit too much, but you'll be surprised. Okay, I'm going to kind of line up. Now let's work with this shoe. I was thinking about the original one. I had the shoe resting on the book, okay? And it worked great because the mushrooms were just about the same color. And if I do that, I can still see a little bit of the stone wall. Now I need to tuck this skull down in here. So I need to cut along this line here. So I can tuck the skull down inside. Okay, he has to be straight. So that my kingfisher can sit on top of him. All right, I think that's good. So I'm gonna glue and one reason I really like the Oohoo glue is you got a little bit of time to work with it. All right, we have one skull down here. Now, instead of having the skull out there, I could tuck it in here. So I have some more overlapping going on. Or it could go in there like that. Okay, let's go ahead and cut here and here and around this ribbon here. Okay, I'm kind of liking that overlap there with my crow feet and the skull. But do I want to turn him a little bit? Maybe I do. I do. Now, do I want to put the third one in here too? That just kind of makes a statement for me, a shoe full of skulls. I'm not sure what statement. I think I want all 3 skulls in there. So let's go ahead and cut further up this line. And that guy's laying in there. This guy could be laying like this. I like just a little bit of the teeth showing. Okay, let's go ahead and get these tacked down. And I made sure this little flap's up right here so I can get my crow in there. And here's what it's looking like. And I like the way this organic line is coming up here in the shoe and it ends right where the mushroom begins. I love that. Okay, I think we can go ahead and glue down our shoe. Yeah, much better. There. All right, now we have the watch that is hooked on the beak of the crow. And I think I'm gonna use some black soot on here too. It'll make it pop a little more with that black around the edge. It'll just be, you know, I didn't tell you guys, but I was really sick for about 3 weeks. And unfortunately, it happened the day of my launch, the day after my launch. So all the things that I had planned on doing live, I didn't get to do, which did, in fact, affect my sales. So I'm going to relaunch with the November box. And hopefully I won't get sick again. Although we are going to be traveling right before I relaunch, but we'll see what happens. I don't think it was COVID. I think it was the norovirus, which turned out it's almost as bad. but I'm getting better. I'm you know, I'm like 90%, so I'm feeling a lot better. But boy, did that take me down. Okay, we have our Kingfisher Man, and he's gonna go right here. So if anybody says they've had the neurovirus, have a little empathy for them. Because, oh my gosh, it was horrible. Horrible. I could do nothing. And I mean nothing. But there's a reason for that. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know that there's a reason. I'm not, like I said, not quite sure what it is, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Oops. Gonna get this guy glued down too. Okay, I'll get this fellow. Where do I want him? Do I want him standing down just a little bit? I think I do. I think I want this overlap back here, and then his other foot can look like it's going in the back. Okay, now I don't have the skull to put on top of his head, but I do have this larger beast cap, and that's what I used in the other one. So I might just go ahead and use it on here too. A little bit of glue on his face. Okay. Now, I don't know how careful you are when you're doing your collages, but this line right here, I wanted lined up with the side of his face, and that took care of this little stone area that jogged out there. Okay. And now we can put this little mousy up here. And I think he's really happy that the bat's flying the other way. I'll see exactly where I want him. This way it looks like he's looking right at the crow. So when I work on totem collages, you know, it just calms me right down. And I am particular about where my placement is and everything. And I think that's all part of it. and is important to me anyway. A lot of people, you know, I know part of that comes from my graphic design background. You know, because I was from the era where you did paste up, you know, everything you worked on, the ads or pages that you did the layout for, you also did the paste up. So there we go. I like that little guy. Okay, let's see if we still want to use our people down here. These give a lot of motion to the piece. Let's take a look. Yes, I do want to include them. It just, you know, it just gives motion where most of the rest of the collage is very stable and balanced, and then you have the opposite going on down here where these people are running. They're afraid. They're frightened of something, and it's coming their way, and they don't want to lose track of one another. So the one woman over here is calling to the other woman on the other side of the collage to remind her she's over here, but this woman's intent on moving forward. Okay, we're almost finished. I want that little girl's foot to stay. Okay, here we go. And I have just a few little things that I need to clean up in here. One would be these white areas in the clock and the watch chain, and this little area right here. I think when I took the background off, I kind of lost that. So there we go. A little bit of color pencil, and that's taken care of. Even though this isn't the exact same color, because We've got this dark surrounding it. It looks close enough. Okay. And I think we're finished. Our Harvest Home collage. Okay, let's take a look at these side by side, and I think you can see and feel the difference in the mood of these two pieces. This with the darker background has a more, it feels darker, it feels more moody. And this one with the lighter background, I mean, it's still kind of spooky. It's still, make sure you can see it. Yeah, it's still, you know, just look at this guy's eyes. He's kind of looking over into the distance. There's something coming that these women and children are definitely running away from. And I don't know. So be aware of the backgrounds that you use for your collages, because it really sets the mood for your collage. Okay. I love being back with my totems, and they make me feel good, and I love putting all the pieces together and kind of making sure there's a balance going on, which is important in this type of collage. So I thank you for joining me. If it's your first time here and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. It really helps with my channel. And thanks to the new subscribers. I have, you know, in the last 2 weeks, 20 new subscribers. So thank you. And all my subscribers that have been with me for a while, thanks for sticking with me and coming back and seeing what I'm doing that's new and different. And I just, you know, I really love you guys and love your comments, love your enthusiasm, and I will see you again next week. So many blessings to you all. Bye for now. Which one do you like better? The one on the right, the lighter one, or the one on the left, the darker one? Put your comments down below. I'd love to have your input and see which one you prefer and why. That would be great.